Dream Team? It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with a new YouTuber we're reacting to. We got Trey Days. Don't be this type of American when traveling or living abroad. I'm intrigued at what you got to say, Trey, but before I let you speak, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You want to subscribe to any of it? Put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team, and I'm human. I talk back. If you guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or in the description section of the Google form link. Trey, give it to me.
Ooh, have I got a story for you guys. Hey, what's going on today, guys? It's Trey. Welcome back to the channel. As always, welcome back to sunny, beautiful Germany. Today, I want to share with you guys a really crazy story of a post that I came across on Facebook. And honestly, I just could not believe it at all. So stay tuned and let's get into it. So if you guys are new to the channel, hi, my name is Trey. I'm an American living abroad here in Stuttgart, Germany, which is located in the southern portion of the country. And so since we live here in Stuttgart, I'm actually a part of this Facebook group by the name of Stuttgart Expats. There's thousands of members in there. And it turns out that there was a post in the group this morning, and I'm gonna read it to you verbatim. It was pretty unbelievable. It's time to, quote, Americanize the restaurants around here just a bit. I was recently relocated here along with a lot of other military friends. We went out to a local place to eat and were shocked when the waiter didn't bring water to our table. He seemed a bit put off, but brought us water with no ice. Nope, we sent them back and he finally brought us glasses of ice water to start our meal. The food was great, and when he brought the check, we were all on one check. Nope. We told him we wanted separate checks. Once again, he looked annoyed, but did so. We explained that we were used to these things since we're American. And in America, the customer usually gets what they want. But he was pretty happy when we tipped him like Americans at 20% and told us to please come back and he would gladly wait on us. It should be noted that by the time we left, there were 2 other tables that asked for ice water as well.
I love that. First of all, you just can't go into other countries and expect to get the same kind of treatment that you get in America. The same kind of things, because you're in a whole other country. Like, they do things their way, so you can't expect things to be done the way that you want them. But I love after he put that waiter or waitress do all that, and they were probably a bit annoyed because they're not used to having to do all the extra for customers. But then when he got that 20% tip, my boy was like, yeah, y'all ain't so bad. Y'all come back. Whenever y'all want to, feel free to come back. I'll have ice waters on your table with a check split, no problem. Put a smile on your face. But I like this story. Talk to me, Trey.
By the time we left, there were 2 other tables that asked for ice water as well. Period. All right, let's actually talk about this. So let's start by addressing the biggest thing. So obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I live here in Germany. This person is an American that happens to be in the military and is stationed here in Germany. So this isn't America. This isn't an American state. Exactly. This isn't an American territory. This is Germany. This is at a German restaurant on the German economy. It's not on base. It's not at an American commissary on base. It is on the German economy. This is a German-owned restaurant. And so I'm a little bit mind blown and taken aback by this situation, because not only is it just totally wrong to ask people to assimilate to the country that you're coming from. It doesn't make any sense to ask natives to assimilate to your culture when you're coming to their country. You're coming to their society. So why would you want them to be like where you're coming from? And I've said this time and time again on this channel. I would never travel anywhere on earth and expect anybody to be like where I'm from. I wouldn't want anybody to be like where I'm from, right? I appreciate people being genuine, being themselves, and I learn best by being around people that are in their element. Mexico, Canada, Thailand, Bulgaria, Hungary, Czechia, the UK. It doesn't matter where we are in the world. I want people to be genuine. And I would never ever ask that somebody be different, right? To make me feel more comfortable. And in fact,
Everything you just said, I completely agree with. Completely agree with 100%. Wherever you go, different cultures, they do things differently than the way you do them, and they should not have to accommodate the way you did things in your country. You should just start. You should assimilate to how things are done there, and you should get to experience different cultures and different way things are done. And I feel like that'd be an awesome thing. Like you said, I wouldn't want them to be different. I'd want them to be them genuine selves, because then you get to learn about all these different cultures, and that'd be really exciting. So I got you on
that
this.
Somebody be different, right? To make me feel more comfortable. And in fact, I would feel extremely uncomfortable even wanting somebody to be more American or to do something the American way in a place that isn't the U.S., right? It's just it's extremely selfish, right? I'm really trying to hold it together in this video because I've seen this time and time again. You know, Americans traveling to other countries and like expecting people to do things the American way, which those people that are requesting those things, they think that the American way is the right way. And time again, we've seen that the American way isn't the right way, right? It isn't always the right way. America's not the center of the universe. It's not the center of the globe. It's just a country that exists at the end of the day. And I know a lot of us were taught that America is the greatest country on earth. At the end of the day, we've been to numerous countries around the world that are better than the US. And they are operating much more efficiently than they are in the US. So, you know, that was the first thing I wanted to address, is that it is just literally blasphemous to expect people to assimilate to the culture or to assimilate to, you know, the societal ways of your country, right? I'm in Germany. Why would I want Germans to be American? That makes no sense. Why would you even travel, you know, to another country? Why would you even want to live in another country?
I get for them because they were military, so they were shipped there. But exactly what he's saying, like, there's no, if you want people to accommodate you, there's no point in traveling. Like I said, I get military. They were shipped there. But for regular travelers who do that, like, there's just stay in them. If you're gonna expect people to accommodate the way you want things done, or to assimilate to your ways and be more American, just stay in America.
Why would you even travel, you know, to another country? Why would you even want to live in another country if you want it to be like where you're from? It just honestly makes no sense. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about was the server's response, or server, waiter, waitress, whatever you want to call it. I just want to talk about their response, right? So German hospitality is real to me. I've experienced it. I don't know what it is. I've talked about this in numerous videos as well. Germans have this reputation of being cold and being angry and being standoffish. Totally false, totally untrue. Like, the German hospitality is real. People are so nice. They've invited us into our homes. They've been extremely welcoming and extremely nice. And so obviously I can tell that this waiter exhibited those same characteristics that I just mentioned: being nice, being open-minded, being friendly. And at the end of the day, he was taken advantage of by these Americans. And I don't like that. That actually really pisses me off, and it makes me really angry and frustrated, because that's why Americans get the reputation that we have when we travel abroad, right? As being selfish, as being, you know, self-centered, as being extremely individualist. I hate that we have the reputation that we have, but I totally understand why it is that we have the reputation that we have. And that's because time and time again, people act the way that this original poster did. You know, they go to other countries and they expect them to be a certain way. And when they're not that way, they automatically think that the country's bad. They think that the people are negative. They think that society is inhumane or doesn't care about people, doesn't care about service. And obviously all of those things are untrue. And it just really hurts, because obviously my wife and I are American and we live here in a foreign country. When people meet us, you know, yeah, they're very open-minded and friendly, but I'm sure in the back of their mind, they're probably like, oh man, I don't know what I'm getting myself into with these Americans, because I've seen the way Americans act, right? I've seen the way Americans do this and do that. I've seen them act this way in the UK. I've seen them act this way in the Netherlands. I've even seen them act the way that they act in the US. And it's like, we get this bad reputation, and it's not okay at the end of the day. You should never act that way in another person's country.
For sure.
And honestly,
For sure.
if you saw the last part of that post, the server said that, you know, he would wait on them the next time they came. I think that person, whoever that server is, deserves a pay raise, a pay increase, you know, a good review on Yelp or Google, because that person at the end of the day is the bigger person than those Americans that came in there and were acting arrogant. Right? So I could tell that
he said, I agree, don't get me wrong, I agree with everything he's saying. But he said the waiter kind of got excited and happy when the tip was 20%. And then he was like, hey, like, y'all come back anytime and everything. Hey, so you get tipped 20%. You'll deal with that. You'll deal with that. I would, but that don't get me wrong. That does not excuse the rudeness, the wanting being in another country and expecting them to assimilate to you, expecting them to accommodate your wants and accommodate your needs. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he was excited when he saw a 20% tip, and then he was like, "Hey, y'all come back whenever y'all want." But keep it rolling, Trey.
And those Americans that came in there and were acting arrogant, right? So I could tell that person was patient. I can tell that they went above and beyond and provided a service that they didn't need to provide. Why would a server need to provide American service, right? Why would they need to put ice in water? Why would they even need to bring water to the table if that's not what they're used to, right? I'm not going to go to Thailand and be mad when I have a cheeseburger and it doesn't taste like how it tastes in the U.S. I'm not going to get mad at the chef for making something that's different. I don't understand why people feel the need to want more, you know, to want this level of service, or to want, you know, this level of care, or to want certain things. At the end of the day, it's extremely arrogant. It's also really disrespectful to that individual, or to that society, or to that culture, right? I want to let it be known right now that if you ever see me, right, if you see this face, if you see me, or if you see my wife walk into your restaurant or walk into your business, we're going to appreciate being there. Right? We're going to appreciate the fact that you're letting consumers come in and see what you have to provide, or see what level of service you want to provide. We're not going to ask you anything crazy. We're certainly not going to ask you, hey, like, we want things to be more Americanized. I couldn't even, I would have to put my foot up my own ass if I were to even think about that, right? And that's just not who we are. That's not who I am. That's not who my wife is. And a lot of the Americans that we met here in Germany that have lived here for some time, we're not that way, right? Any of the big YouTube channels out there that you see, you know, the Black Forest family, Haley, Alexis, if you see any of us come into your establishment, we're gonna be respectful and we're gonna be very appreciative of that business, right? And we are very appreciative people of this country, right? This is the country that we want to be in, right? If we wanted to be in the US, we'd be back in the US, right? So it's mind-boggling to me. Another thing I wanted to hit on that absolutely blew my mind is the statement when he said that in America, the customer gets what they want. That's called taking advantage of a business. That's called taking advantage of employees, right? There's a difference between...
I agree with that. And I think in America, you get it because your waiter or your waitresses, they don't get paid, livable wages. They get paid less than minimum wage because they live on tips. And so in order to live on tips, you provide like the best service as you can, and you get that. It is kind of a thing in America where it's like the customer's always right. I know that's a wrong way of thinking, but that's how it is because they live off those tips from those customers, so they give them the best possible service they can. I do enjoy the service. I enjoy everything about the service, and I do tip well. I guess 15-20% like the guys in this video. But I completely agree with what he's saying. That is kind of, when you just constantly asking for stuff, constantly wanting things, and you start to become a hindrance, it is taking advantage because it's like, you know that they're gonna keep doing it, but you're still asking. You continuously ask. So I feel like if you need something, ask for it, but don't run somebody ragged serving you. I guess is the best way to say it.
Advantage of a business. That's called taking advantage of employees, right? There's a difference between, somebody making a mistake and then them fixing it and then you saying like, okay, cool. Like, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for taking care of that. And then doing the complete opposite, which is getting mad at that person, getting angry at that person, basically thinking that that individual is your slave, right? And that you're their master. That's not okay. That's not the American way. I just want to be clear. That is not the American way. There are a lot of Americans out there, especially boomers and older Americans, that think that servers, waiters, janitorial staff, they just think that they're supposed to like wait on them and like, be there for anything that they need. Doesn't matter the request. They just think that those people are supposed to give them what they want, and that's not okay. That's not how it should be, right? Those are people. Those people are most likely using that job as a stepping stone. And so it literally makes my skin crawl whenever I see Americans in America treating staff disrespectfully, right? Or making absurd requests and just asking for like these insane things that they just don't need. They're honestly just very entitled. They're trying to make life hard for somebody and they think that they're better than that person, right? That's a thing that's common in the US. When I was reading that, I couldn't help but be extremely empathetic and sad for that poor employee that was subjected to that American-based nonsense, right? I'm not saying that Americans are the only type of people that do that, but we're seeing it time and time again where Americans are demanding that other people assimilate to the American way, right? In the name of American patriotism. I don't agree with that at all. I'm as American as they come. I'm from the state of Florida. I love the US, right? I don't hate the US, but I'm really starting to be mortified by the behaviors that I'm seeing by Americans in America, but also by the actions and nonsense that I'm seeing by people traveling abroad. It's insane. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you, this could easily be like an hour-long video, right? I'm a person that is big on, dismantling stereotypes and dismantling ideologies that view a certain group of people being a certain way. That's what I'm all about, right? And I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why we came here to Germany. And there's so much more that I want to say. I obviously value you guys' time, but the most important thing that I want to say is please, if you are American out there and you're deciding to travel abroad and you're deciding to visit new countries and experience new things, please don't ever be like this guy that made this post, because
I got you, Trey. I hear you. I'm listening. Yeah, I would just sit there and I would want them to treat me as if I was just a regular customer that they usually serve, like, because I want to take in the differences. I want to take in, and if you wanted a glass of ice water, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying when he comes in, just, hey, can I please have a glass of ice water if that's okay? That's all you got to do. You don't have to say no when they bring you the water with no ice. Nope, bring me a cup of ice. Like, no, don't do that. Just, hey, can I please have a glass of water? That's literally it. But keep talking, Trey.
Please don't ever be like this guy that made this post, because not only is it just going to be so much more difficult for you, but at the end of the day, you're putting innocent people in a position where they feel like they need to assimilate to American culture, right? And I could tell that the server did that because he wanted his establishment to have the positive reputation that it has, right? They don't want any bad reviews. They don't want any bad publicity, because at the end of the day, here in Germany, it's all about word of mouth. So if somebody says that, oh, this restaurant treated me this way, and then they tell their friends, and then they tell their friends, and then those friends tell their friends, at the end of the day, nobody's gonna visit that restaurant anymore. And so I don't want you guys to ever I don't want anybody to be put in that position, right? Where they feel like they have to step outside of their comfort zone or step outside of themselves to be something that they're not in their country, right? let's pause for a second. Could you imagine a German going into an American restaurant and saying, hey, I want you guys to do things the German way? Or could you imagine somebody from Turkey visiting the US and saying, hey, I want you guys to do things the Turkish way? Or taking it a step further, somebody coming from China and telling an American restaurant, I want things prepared this way. I want my experience to be the Chinese way. I want it to be this way. That would never.
Yeah. You're gonna get kicked out the restaurant, probably gonna get or they're just gonna say we don't do things that way. Or they'll try to do it your way, but they'll be upset if you don't tip them like they regularly get tipped. But yeah, I completely agree with everything you're saying. Yeah, if somebody else came in and said that stuff, like there would be some anger. There would be an outrage. As somebody coming in wanting things to be done the way that they're done in their country. So I understand where he's coming from.
My experience to be the Chinese way, I want it to be this way. That would never fly. Not only would it never happen, but it would never fly, right? And so I don't know what it is. Yes, this is one post that I have seen on Facebook, but I have heard so many stories time and time again about Americans traveling to other countries and just straight up being nuisances. Like, they're just being terrible, they're being mean, they're being Karens, they're being disrespectful. So all I'm gonna tell you guys, and I know most of you guys, if you're watching this video, I already know who you are, right? I already know that you're a respectful individual. I already know that you care about traveling, and I know that you're open to ideas that are different than yours. So I just want to thank you for that, right? I'm talking to you. Yep, I'm talking, not you. Yep, I'm talking to you.
He pointing at me. He pointing at me, guys. He's pointing at me, guys. I am respectful. I am open to new ideas. Thank you, Trey. I appreciate you for acknowledging that, Trey. I appreciate that.
Thank you for that, right? I'm talking to you. Yep, I'm talking, not you. Yep, I'm talking to you. And yeah, just never, ever do that. It's not cool. It's really not cool. Never. All right, so I know that was a quicker video. As always, hit the comment section below. Let's talk. Dialogue is huge. Conversation is massive, in my opinion, right? We will never learn, we will never grow as a society if we can't communicate with one another. And as you know, me, I'm all about communication. So please, let's use the comment section below and talk about this crazy story. Because it's not isolated. I know this is one story that I came across on Facebook, but it's not an isolated incident. And I'm sure that there are Germans here that can probably talk about times that they've come across Americans that have just been super closed-minded and they want things here in Germany to be done the American way. And I'm sure there are other countries out there, other cultures out there that have similar stories about Americans. I want to be clear, we don't bash Americans on this channel. We don't bash America on this channel. I don't hate America. I'm American. My wife's American. My son's American. We don't hate America on this channel. What we do hate, though, is ignorance on this channel. And so I will do whatever I can to address the ignorance that's out there, to change dialogues, to have real honest dialogue, real open dialogue, right? I don't expect all of us to think the same, but I want us to be able to communicate and have real dialogue, because that's gonna bring along real change. If you can't communicate, you're SOL at the end of the day. You're screwed if you can't communicate. Basically. And so I just want to use the comment section as an open forum to discuss anything that you've experienced, anything that you might have seen. And so I know Americans get the bad rep, obviously. Probably the worst rep of any country.
Definitely get the worst rep out of every country, 100%. That's a fact.
And so I know Americans get the bad rep, obviously. Probably the worst rep of any country in the world for tourists. Like horrible, terrible tourists. Everything. Americans are probably number one when it comes to that, right? That's no surprise. But I'm sure there are probably British people out there that are terrible. I'm sure there are Australians out there that are terrible. I'm sure there's Indians out there that are terrible. So let's talk. Talk to me about a time where you have experienced this, where you've experienced this person that's coming into your business or coming into your home and telling you to do things the way that they are done in their home country. I would love to hear these stories. So yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys for all the continued love and support. I love and appreciate you guys. We are closing in on 10,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I'm just a guy from Florida that talks, that likes to talk, that likes to have conversation. And most importantly, I'm all about education. I'm huge on education. So if you guys like this video, if you guys want, check out all of my prior videos. I talk about everything, right? We talk about the US. We talk about Germany. The last place we lived in the US was actually Hawaii. And so a lot of my content on this channel is actually from Hawaii. So if you're interested in knowing more about Hawaii, check out my prior videos. It's an amazing state. It's probably one of the best states in the US. And I actually want to start talking more about our time in Hawaii because I didn't really make as much content as I wanted there, but I still have people asking me constantly about Hawaii. And so, as always, thank you guys for the continued love and support. So thank you. Mahalo for watching.
I like Trey, bro. Trey seems like a really genuine guy, really dope guy. Very nice, very sincere, and I appreciate that. He's an awesome guy. The message in this completely on track, guys. If you're abroad, if you're not in your country, don't expect people to assimilate to the way you do things. Don't expect them to accommodate you. You shouldn't want that. You should want to experience their culture, experience that the differences, right? So this was a super dope video to watch. If you guys got a favorite video you want to see me react to, subscribe to the channel. Ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Subscribe to Patreon or in the description section or your Google form link. Hit the link, fill out your suggestion. If you want me to get to yours faster, fill out premium. But I'll put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy Neal. Out.